Hello, doers. My name is Jose Ignacio. So, for this business flow, we're going to be discovering how Cozy Home manages its furniture store using Odoo. Cozy Home sells upscale furniture and home accessories from kind of stuff like in this room, like sofas, low tables, like over there, for your living room, maybe even stuff for your beds and nightstands for the bedroom. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves talking about furniture because before selling anything, marketing comes into play. The marketing department's role is to create leads for the sales team, and there are many different ways of doing that. So let's start with our main one, building a website for Cozy Home. So enough chit chat, let's get right into this database. Okay, Adur, so here we are on our website's homepage. We're going to select Edit in the top right corner just to get started customizing it. So as you can already tell, we have selected our own theme already for the website, but we can always change our themes or edit the colors as well inside of our website editor. So on the right side of the screen over here, we have our web editor. There's blocks, customization tab, and as well as our theme tab. I'm going to click into the theme tab because I just talked about how we can switch themes. So let's hit the button that says switch theme and OK to proceed forward. Now Odoo immediately takes us over here to where we see a very beautiful view of all of our selectable themes. From here, I can choose any one of these, and if I hover my mouse over them, it gives me a quick little scroll so that I could see what's going on. In this case, I think I like the one that I designed already and I want to further customize it. So let's hit X out of there. I'm just showing you that in case you wanted to change it up. Just want to show how easy that is. All right, let's start building Cozy Home's website with Odoo's simple drag and drop functionality. So to start, I'm going to select Edit once again. And right now I am over here on our blocks. I'm going to be adding a few of these building blocks. The very first one I want is an introduction. I'm going to select this one because it has a quote. We are the best company ever. This is going to be important, and you'll see why soon enough. Let's go back again once to the blocks. Okay, so we have our intro. Let's add some columns following that. And once again, we can always pick what types of columns or specifics that we want. And this one right here that has selections, well, that relates the most to what we're selling, which is products. And then finally moving on, we're going to have some text because I got a lot of pictures going on. This one's pretty good. So we have seemingly built something already that looks pretty good. It's coherent. But let's edit some of these things and our style. So we're going to start with the cover up at the top. So now I think it's time for us to change the title, which as you can tell, I'm just clicking things and it just lets me edit them. Awaken your inner designer. Man, this is actually incredibly easy. Okay, and then let's also edit this nice little subtext that we have right below it. We hand pick furniture you will love. Beautiful. And you know what? I don't like this button that says start now. It doesn't feel as modern. Ours is going to say discover. It's very mysterious and it works as a button. And if we would like, we can actually even use AI to be a better copywriter. I mean, look at this. We are the best company ever. So if I highlight it right there and I'd like a suggestion for it, all I have to do is select the AI button over here under the Customize tab at the very bottom. And just like that, I get a few better sentences. And then, look at that right there. I think we want this one. And it gives you a few other options. Like in my case, let's lengthen it. I need people to know. Ooh. Oh my God. Now we're cooking. It's like Jose Ignacio didn't even write that. And furthermore than that, I think we need a little bit more of a serious color change. I can change the text and button and colors as well. So to do that, we're back over here on our website editor on the right-hand side. And for the background, I'm just going to select somewhere up here. And you see this little bubble right there next to background. If we select it, we can start to change our colors. And we immediately see changes as we're hovering them if we'd like. And once we find something that we like, we just select it. And I'm going to click that one, because it looks even cooler now. Look at this. We're just cooking. All right. I can actually also edit the button colors as well. We want a little contrast. We want to basically redirect people. So if we go over here and we select the link right there, we can edit the link that this button is going to take people to. And you could paste it right there if you would like to. For the time's sake, I'm not going to do that right now. I just wanted to see what else we can do. So let's move a bit forward. All right. Now we're here at our column block below. And I would like to change one of these pictures just to show you, because even better, Odoo provides us with a database filled with royalty-free images I can use. No need to use another site or app. It's as easy as just a quick, in my case, Nice little double click right there on this first image. And then if we search for the word furniture, look at that. I have a whole bunch of stuff appearing. We kind of want to match that style, so I'm going to go with this, I don't know, this black chair. Ooh, for elegant. That's beautiful right there. That showcases everything for you. But in my case, let's assume we're going to go back in there. I already have an image that I like to use. If I wanted to, I just upload it here and it'll appear below. I've done that ahead to save us some time with this nice little frog chair that I had right there. And seamlessly, it's immediately pasted right there. And it's really easy for the rest of these. So let's move forward though. So you might be asking yourself, what else can we do? Well, remember that text block that I just added? Well, here, if I wanted to, if I highlight some text, I can actually add a short story about Cozy Home's mission. Now, I could do that very manually and try to come up with nice anecdotes. Or if I wanted to, I could just highlight the text that I have like this, do the slash, ChatGPT right there. Boom. We can actually use ChatGPT to create a paragraph about our company. So I'm going to give it an option to create a paragraph on Cozy Home's commitment to 100% customer satisfaction. Like that, it's created it. But this seems incredibly long. People won't read it. So I'm going to say, please shorten it. And just like that, it starts thinking, and boom, now we have it. Now he's cooking. Okay, let's insert that by just selecting the insert button right there. And just like that, it's right there. So options like this are what really helps us help you. This means that someone with zero design skills whatsoever can just use this feature and create pretty awesome pages. That's some money saved, and you flex that DIY muscle, oh doers. So finally, once that we're all done with everything that we've done here, we're just going to hit save in the top right corner. Always save. It's the one thing you need to do. Okay, now once that we're done with this, look at this. It just looks so cool. Everything is there. And now you might be asking yourself, what will this site look like on a mobile device? So to check that out, I'll actually just click on this little mobile phone icon in the top right corner. And just like that, look at that. It automatically changed the placement for all of our pages and everything. I love this. It almost feels like a whole new website. But I think it's time for us to work on other site pages. So to get there, we're going to need to click on that mobile icon once again, bring us back over here to the front to our desktop view. Okay, so the Cozy Home website is going to start to get visitors pretty soon. However, they don't want people to just visit the website and, be a window shopper. We need conversions on those visits so that they can become leads and business opportunities for a sales team. So to do that, we're going to create a basic landing pages. So it's a call to action page. So we're going to select new and page and landing pages. Perfect. We're going to go with the very first one and we're going to name this free shipping. Yep, we're using that tool. Perfect. We've also selected the option, or by default, to have it added to the menu so it's pretty easy to find. So immediately we're going to change some stuff here. First of all, this should say free shipping with a question mark. Because remember, we're trying to get them to think about it. So for this next part, I'm going to put register below for free shipping on the first order. Pretty simple. And like all things inside of the website builder, deleting is just as easy as creating. But this is a pretty basic page. How are they supposed to fill it out? Well, let's select the blocks over here on our right side. And then we want to be able to add in a form. So it's going to be a contact/form that we're going to put right there. Perfect. I think I need one that has areas to fill in. So let's go with this one. So fill this below. We will send an email with a code to follow. Perfect. Now we can move forward with all of this. So the very first thing I need to make sure that I change here inside of our website editor is I need to change what the action that will happen when visitors press the submit button below. So by selecting it now, I'm able to edit it. So we have a few different options available. Cozy Home wants the form to feed all of the information that they're going to type inside of here into the CRM app, creating a lead that they can follow up on. So we're going to set this form's action to create an opportunity. It's way more efficient than receiving the information by email and manually entering everything into the database. So to confirm that, underneath the Customize tab over here, you see right here where it says Action, we're going to change it to Create an Opportunity. And then you can further select a sales team and a salesperson. And it's just that easy. Okay, once that you're done with that and you set the sales team and the salesperson, any leads generated by this form are automatically assigned to the team and salesperson configured inside of here. So in our case, let's make immediately the phone number needs to be required. I need to be able to talk to people. So we just select this little toggle down here, and now it's required. So this is just so the customers can submit the form without entering a phone number. And then moving forward, I see one that I don't want required. So now showing the opposite, we'll make that not required, and it's the company. That is something we don't want mandatory. And you can tell which ones are by the little asterisks right there. Let's move on to edit some of these things further. So let's look at the subject one over here. I kind of don't need this question. So we're going to change the label on it. What are you interested in? This way they can kind of fill it out, and then it gets just a little bit easier. And finally, for this one below over here, your question, I think it's time for us to change this. So for our type on this one, I actually want this to be tagged. So I can select that right there. And look at that. Visitors can select which furniture types that they're interested in. These tags are then configured inside of the CRM app. Finally, once that we're done with all of this, everything looks good. All we have to do is hit save in the top right corner. And then we're still not done because you need to publish this so that people can see it immediately. Now let's see what this looks like for a customer. So I think it's time for us to fill out the form to create an opportunity directly in Cozy Home CRM. So in a customer window over here, we're going to see this free shipping and select it. And then I think it's time for us to fill this out really quickly. So here we are on the main CRM dashboard, and I happen to be a salesperson now. So let's remove any filters just to make sure we get a good bird's eye view of everything. And as you'll notice under the new stage, we can see the lead that was generated from the website from our very real customer a moment ago. So from here, the nice part is the sales team first tries to qualify this. Maybe they propose something. They've called them, they've messaged them, and once the lead has moved forward, they make the offer. And then hopefully everything goes well and it's won. And we see this nice little thing right there. But I'm going to put this back right now because we haven't done any of that yet. Don't get ahead of yourselves. So let's actually click into it because we're going to edit this. And we can actually see all those changes that I did right there. So here, furthermore, inside of the chatter, we can actually see a comment in Spanish by one of our Spanish coworkers. We can easily translate it if we hover and we click on these three dots and we select it right there. But I happen to understand Spanish. And as another footnote on this translate option, you have to set this up prior because it won't work without the proper setup. And that's just being honest. So moving forward, they've let me know at this point that they don't actually think that we sell quality goods, but I'm going to tell them otherwise. This is a good note. All right, now let's edit some other things. So from here, we can add our expected revenue. And this one happens to be $1,000. As he told us, this person wants to spend a lot of money. So if we wanted to, we could even check the web pages that they viewed. If we click on this page view smart button over here, they went directly to contact us because they are a straight shooter. So let's head back using the breadcrumbs over here, which happen to be Victory breadcrumbs. So right now, I want to talk about the fact that we have a lot of modern integrations inside of Odoo CRM application. Let's go even more modern and let's send a WhatsApp message to see if the potential customer wants to have a phone call with the salesperson. We can actually even use a pre-configured template to make that happen. To do that, we select the WhatsApp button. There's our template right there for our CRM lead. And we don't need to change anything. We just hit send right there and boom, there we have it right over here at the top. Now, since everything was ready to go, everything went through pretty quickly. But let's say the potential customer agreed and we can actually schedule a meeting. To do that, we can do it directly here from the opportunity. All we have to select is the activities button up here at the top, and we can do our to-do. In this case, this one, as I said, is going to be a meeting, and we're going to just do, I don't know, phone call with customer. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to select open calendar. We're going to pick a random time tomorrow that's not too late and not too early. And once that we're all set from this pop-up, let's make the subject for it cozy call. Just because it is cozy furniture. Everything else seems good, so we'll just hit save and close. And there we have it. Now we're going to jump back over here, over to our opportunity. So let's once again predict that it went well after the call and the customer is interested in purchasing some products. In that case, we can actually send them the quote directly from here by selecting new quotation over here at the top. Then we can get started. So I think it's time for us to make sure that we can do this quotation properly. Now they've told us the products that they want. They would like our bed frame, They would also like our mattress. They'd also like our nightstand. And I hope you keen IO doers are seeing something that I'm seeing right now. They've told us they want one of everything. So from here, we can actually directly view the availability by selecting on this little graph icon. Seems we have a good bit of everything else, and some of our stock for some of the other ones were actually not doing great. They happen to be in red right there. So what does that mean? We can see that we currently don't have enough wardrobes or nightstands over here to go forward as the icons were in red. But if we wanted to, we can still actually go forward and through with this, even if we don't have the products in stock. We can proceed with our quotation by selecting over here, send by email. And then once that we do that, we can get started with our template over here, or if we'd like to, we can write it up on the fly. But for the sake of time, I'm going to leave this as is and just hit send. Now, once that we do that, we get over here, see in the chatter, a nice little, I guess I would call it a bird's eye view of everything that's happening always. And we can also see our PDF right here if we'd like to for our quotation. It's always good to see these things just to know, hey, did I send that quotation? Maybe I didn't. Now we can assume that they would pay online in the customer portal, validate the order with an online signature by email, or even WhatsApp. In this case, let's once again go modern, new school, whatever you want to call it. Let's assume that they messaged us on WhatsApp to confirm the order. No problem. Let's manually confirm this quotation by clicking, in our case, confirm. And then once that we're done with that, it's a sales order. And let's also send them a confirmation message on WhatsApp because we're super cool by selecting inside of here, WhatsApp button. There we have our sales order copy. We send it on over and boom, just like that. Awesome. Everything once again by default was sent. And now we could see right here that everything went through. Great. Now the sales team's job ends with the creation of a sales order. And since Cozy Home doesn't have everything in stock right now, we need to fix those ones that we saw in the red. The procurement team needs to take over. Those are the folks who will approve the necessary purchase orders to replenish their supply. So again, moving forward in our timeline, we are now at the procurement team, and they happen to be inside of the inventory application because we can access replenishment from here. We select up at the top our operations and then replenishment. Automatically here, we can either click on order, which will just do it once for this one, and that will generate the necessary purchase orders to fulfill our confirmed sales orders. Or if we would like to, we can also automate orders. The second option enables Cozy Home to ensure that they always have a minimum and maximum quantity of a product in their inventory. We actually don't keep extra wardrobes in stock due to their size. So for the wardrobe, we're actually just going to select order in this case, and that one is good to go. And we have our purchase order and it tells us up at the top right. And that helps us automatically know, hey, we don't have to worry about that. We can click on that linked blue text over there to go directly to it. But we still need to take care of those nightstands. Now, for the nightstands, we actually always want to have some in our warehouse because those suckers sell like hotcakes. So let's go ahead and automate that procurement. So let's set the reordering rule with a minimum, in this case, of 10. And let's set the maximum, in this case, to 30. It's a pretty good number right there. And now we're going to select automate. Boom, and just like that, this means Odoo will generate a request for quotation whenever the nightstand inventory goes below 10 and order enough to have at least 30 in stock, and that's pretty cool. Now the procurement team has to validate the request for quotation. So I think it's time for us to head on over to the purchase application. So we've gone and moved from our reordering rules at this point to the purchase application, because if you recall, we have a request for quotation, and here we can click into it. Now we can also see immediately that Wood Corner happens to have, if we look at this expected arrival area, a 100% on-time delivery rate, meaning all their previous orders arrived on time. Impressive. And it also gives us a quick inside look at how our vendors are doing. However, in the event that you want to ensure that your vendor will deliver on time again to avoid disappointing your loyal customer, you can actually make sure that happens by also sending a confirmation to them, which ends up happening before the promised receipt date to confirm that the products will in fact be on time. This saves you time. And for that, always make sure that you have this checkbox ticked right there. And then you can also change the date as well. In our case, it's 5 days before. But with all of that locked in, we can go ahead and confirm our order, and we're done. So now that my hat's changed, it's time for the inventory department to take over. So the nice thing with this team is that this team manages the received products. They have a list of products to be received and a list of products to be delivered to customers. The inventory team itself can manage the stock either through the barcode application or our inventory application. For our example, we're going to be moving between both. But before that, inside of the inventory application, select configuration and settings. Head on over to the barcode section. Inside of here, let's make sure that barcode scanner is checked off, as well as the ability to show quantity to count, because it's pretty useful depending on the location. Now, underneath the barcode scanner section, you'll notice we have the option to print barcode commands if we'd like to, and to set the default nomenclature or our own barcode nomenclature if we would like to. And that defines how information is transformed into a barcode. For more on that, check out the docs or the video specific to that type of thing, because we don't have enough time to cover it all in a short time during this video. So before we can even go about scanning, we need to make sure that our products have barcodes. We don't want to be sending the wrong items out. So to achieve that, we could click here on configure product barcodes, but we're going to do it from the product itself just to give you a different look at that. So we're going to select products, and then select our nightstand because it's one of the items we're going to be talking about today. So here on the product form, on the right side of the general information tab, we have our barcode field. Inside of here, if we click on it, we can type it in directly if we'd like to, or if the item came with a barcode and you happen to have one of these bad boys, we can actually just scan it directly and something cool happens. It's automatically input. So you can also add these to operation types, packages, packagings, and locations. I'm going to be sure to leave links for you guys to see all of that below. So I'm going to go repeat that for another item, but let's save manually quickly and go over to our wardrobe, which was the other item, because I want to show you something cool. So now we scan this one right there. Once again, it's been automatically input, but this one, since we have a different item that we used, it was able to have our own internal notes, including a category section and more information. See, it's a pretty powerful tool that even allows you to save time. No one had to type that in. And now that we have these done, we can proceed forward and accept items. So I think it's time for us to go talk to some warehouse people. I'll see you there. And then once that you have all of those barcodes set up and everything, you can assume at this point that I happen to be the warehouse employee who is scanning these in. They've all come in. Now here we are inside of the barcode application. Let's tap on operations, receipts, and select that order from Wood Corner. Okay, so here's where it gets kind of cool. So now let's assume that we have our barcode gun and we start getting our items. There we go. As we set up the barcodes, Odoo automatically detected there is our wardrobe. And now we probably have to go run and do 31 of these nightstands, right? But we're not going to do that because we can skip ahead and we did our mental math to count right there. And then once you're all done from here, you can go ahead and hit validate. And just like that, very quickly, everything was received. So now it's time for the accounting department to shine. The first thing that they actually have to do is pay the vendor bill. We got to pay our bills. So here we are inside of the purchase application. And we want to open up that purchase order that was related to the products that we just received. So from the purchase order, we can directly create a draft vendor bill since we already received the products from the vendor. So I'm going to select create bill. And then once that I do that, I want to actually set the bill date to, in our case, we're going to set it to the current date, which just happens to be Monday. And then once that we're done with that, we can actually not have to fill up anything because Odoo did everything for us. We simply check that the bill amount matches as well as the purchase order amount. And then we can confirm the vendor bill from the top left corner and we're done. Now the next step is to pay the vendor. And of course, we can register payment easily on the vendor bill. So we just select pay and then we select create payment right there. And would you look at that? Now we have this very nice banner that tells us it's in payment and it lets us know everything is done. We'll then reconcile this when our bank statement comes this month. So we've received everything and we're back over here at the inventory team. So inside of the inventory application, you'll see we have one to deliver under delivery orders. When we go inside of there, look at that. Our product availability is green. This means that we're ready to proceed with sending this out to the customer. So that once that we get everything packaged out, the only thing left to do is actually go up to the top left corner and hit our validate button. And then once that we click that, you'll notice if you look at the chatter, we have a very nice SMS message that went out to let them know that their product is shipped. At this stage, everything moves to the accounting team. So after paying the vendor bill, the only thing left to do is invoice the customer. So let me show you how that's done real quick. So here inside of the sales application, we just jump into our previous sales order. And you'll notice we've delivered stuff, but we haven't invoiced anything yet. Now to quickly do that, if we wanted to, we can just select the create invoice button up at the top left. But we actually do things in a faster manner by doing them in batches. So to do that and creating our invoices for all of our completed sales orders, we select to invoice at the top and orders to invoice. From here, check off the ones that you want to invoice all at once and select create invoices. And then from here, you can create a draft. Perfect. Once that you're done with all of that, it's already created. And now we just need to send them out. For that, we're actually going to head out of here, even though we can continue here. I'm going to show you something else. So inside of the accounting application over here, if we select customer invoices, we can actually find the one that we needed today. So here we have our draft one. Now using the action menu up at the top, if you would like to, you can immediately send a WhatsApp message. And then once that's done, we assume that everything was good to go and we confirm it up at the top. And now we could print and send it. We can also just do other manners by email and that type of stuff, but we usually use all of these methods to increase our chances. So I'm going to select print and send. And then once we do all of that, we're good to go. And then once that everything is done, we assume a little bit of time has passed. We've received the customer's payment. Now we can select pay up at the top and we can create our payment and everything should be good to go. Hey doers, before you go, now that we're at the end, I wanted to cover some of the important areas of the configuration. Since this happens to be a furniture store video, we have to talk about the products themselves because this is where a lot of the supply chain specific actions are going to be happening in Odoo. It's very important, so I wanted to bring it to your attention. So here in front of us, we have the Cozy bed frame. Now for our products, I wanted to talk about the general information tab and the product type. We've selected goods for our product because it happens to be a physical item that we want to track our inventory for. For things that are non-countable like nuts, screws, bolts, etc., you would uncheck that box if you didn't really care about specific inventory records. And then if we select our purchase tab over here, you'll notice I have a vendor, and a vendor needs to be listed here in order for Odoo to automatically create RFQs to restock this product, also known as reordering rules. Beyond just having a vendor, I wanted to mention that as a seller, you should keep these lead times, which we happen to have right here at the end right there. You want to keep those in mind because they can affect logistics, such as when a product is set to arrive at your warehouse, and due to that to your customer as well. This means you may want to go with vendors that have shorter lead times if it benefits you more to have it arrive a little bit earlier. Or who knows, maybe a VIP customer ordered something and you want to get it to them. And below that, you'll notice we have the control policy over here, and we happen to have it set to on received quantities, meaning they are billed based on the quantities we receive from the vendor. Now let's go over to inventory over here. Okay, here on the right-hand side, you control other aspects of the product, such as its product dimensions, like in our case, we have weight and volume, as well as these are needed for shipping connectors. So back over to the general information tab, we also set our invoicing policy to delivered quantities, meaning the system will only offer to invoice the customers once the products have been delivered. This is a pretty common setup specific to B2B transactions, like you would see in a Net90 agreement, for example. Other than that, that concludes our video. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you. Go grab a snack. This was the longest video. Go grab dinner.